This phone does everything the newest ones do. This phone used to be the best, and I do still think it is. This is the Galaxy Note 9 5 years later. Now start with design. Back in 2018, I think this phone looks really plain and boring, almost like a Toyota Prius. Now unlike the Prius, the Note 9 is the F40 in its time, performance-wise, speedy, and no nonsense. Paired with either the Snapdragon 845 or the Exynos 9810, this phone used to be one of the fastest around. Now, I've heard of performance differences between the Exynos and the Snapdragon variants, but I don't really have the 845 variant to try alongside this one. I should specify the fact that this example of the Note 9 is not the local Singapore variant. It's the South Korean SK Telecom variant, which is unlocked. Let's talk about the front of the phone, which unimpressed me when I first saw this one. It's a 6.4-inch curved Super AMOLED 2K display capable of producing extremely vibrant colors. Now at this point, you may start to take note that I have not switched the display on. And I'm gonna show you why. Welcome to OLED hell! Oh. Now this example of Note 9 has burn-ins that, shall I say, is not trivial at all. This display sure has seen better days, and I'm aware that Samsung has a calibration software called Galaxy Diagnostics, which can minimize burn-ins. Now, don't get your hopes up. It's only for internal workers. Tossing all that aside, I do think this phone overall aged really well. With volume buttons on the left and power buttons on the right, this design makes better sense as it is made better to take screenshots with that kind of arrangement. Now speaking of the design, that infinity display does allow for a fully functional top bezel, which features the iris scanner, the camera, proximity and light sensors, the secondary loudspeaker, and the ever so useful LED indicator. Remember Touch ID on iPhones? On the Note 9, it's there as a secondary home button. So you can press on the screen to return home, even if you are using gestures. You get haptic feedback from it as well. Now because this phone has its haptic motor positioned on the bottom of the phone, the haptics are very noticeable. It may be a Z-axis haptic motor, but Samsung tuning a Z-axis motor, a freaking Z-axis motor, Z 轴马达，是个 Z 轴 to feel that good. Oh, they're nuts. If you ever use the S21, it feels exactly the same. Now, of course, it's not going to be as sharp as, let's say, the iPhone SE's X-axis motor that I'm going to compare with. So, here's a rough comparison. Now I don't dare say the haptics is the best, it's definitely one of the better ones, and I'll leave that. One thing that I know of is the fact that there is amazing stereo speakers, but hot take. If a company buys another and uses it to advertise, I don't think it's anything to write home about. Yes, it's still by AKG, but AKG is now Samsung's own. And based on my experience, the Remax RM510s actually sound better than the Samsung AKG wired earpieces, even if it's slightly better. And here's the thing, the Remaxes are 4 times cheaper, and they do break easier, so up to you. Oh, and the cable quality is worse definitely. Should you want to use earphones though, this phone does have a 3.5mm headphone jack, which is going extinct back in 2018 on flagships. Performance wise, well, I mean, it's fine for everyday use. While it's definitely not the fastest phone in the world anymore, I do think it does keep up with today's requirements, which I really think is what makes this phone age well. This being a Galaxy Note, it does take notes very well with its built-in S Pen. Heck, I even wrote this script on the Note 9 using the S Pen, and it's also great at recognizing my horrendous handwriting and the fact that it is the first ever Note to feature a Bluetooth activated S Pen, which means it can act like a remote control. Note that I don't do the magic wand gestures the Note 10 series introduced though. And with that said, you can remotely unlock the phone with the S Pen, provided it's locked when the pen is out. You can click the button to start actions within apps like taking a pictures, web scrolling, and so on. You can even assign the pen button to open an app as when you long press it. Basically, the pen is mightier than your fingers. Now, the most useless button on the pen is indeed the most useful. You can just what makes the pen remove features possible is the fact that it's both Bluetooth enabled and it's able to store charges via a super capacitor. The pen can last, insert it into the phone, and it will recharge itself. Nice. The phone does not work with any other Galaxy Note pens, and newer S Pens because they all work on the same technology. Well, like the pen, the phone does store charges, but with a battery. And let me tell you, battery life has been fat. Let's remember this phone has a very degraded battery and definitely wouldn't run well anymore. As long as it's a phone, it calls well, it's fine. Speaking of which, call quality has been great. As you can already tell, the phone is clear. Why? Because clear is the best color. But what does that mean? I have reworked on the phone to make sure that it's all clean and ready to go. So that's why I know its call quality has been great. And oh, wait, someone is calling me. Hi, you want to subscribe? Oh, I forgot about the fact that there's an improvement tab in the description below. Now, boleh orang to sponsor myself? Link in the description below as well. Now, yeah, that's what my alter ego wants you to do. Being a Note 9, it's also the last Note to give you a zero compromise experience. It's got an uninterrupted screen, no stupid hole punch, a heart rate monitor, which ideally means of my S7, Type-C, an audio port, variable aperture lens. Speaking of which, we are already 8 pages long for the screen, and we haven't even talked about something that a phone company will spend 20 centuries talking about. And I think it's mighty boring, so I'll be right through. Dual lenses on the back, 2 times telephoto, 1 main lens with variable aperture ranging from 1.5 to 2.4. I'll shout out to have you all to give you all a feel of what the phone sees. Yeah. Alright, so rear cameras 4K 30. Desktop the telephoto, I guess. Let's test it out over here. There. Very good cameras, I would say. And here's the front-facing 8 megapixel camera. As you can tell, it's really not bad. Yeah, I'll consider this as a very good video recording device, even by 2023 standards, I would assume. Now, this phone is also capable in filming in 4K 60 FPS, but only for 10 minutes. Then let's all remember the Chat Note 3 that can record in 4K. It's actually the first phone that can record in 4K. Now, compared to any new Samsung top-tier phones like the S21 and S21 Ultra and newer, it definitely cannot compete with them. but compared to what I have, the S21, I do think the Note 9 is still no joke due to it being very feature packed. Extra things to note. The phone acting like a mini tablet is exceptional in watching videos due to the fact that it does have H2H displays, which means it does add on to the immersion. Plus the 2K display, this phone is very good on that regard as well. Cameras are great as well. With the combination of the band, you can see why I chose the Note 9 to be my camera crew. Immersion though, at a cost of horrendous, and I really mean horrendous, support for glass protectors and reduced durability as well. Now I'll be challenging myself to replace the blazing fast SE 5G or SE 2022 for a week, and I'll see how it goes. Actually, I did, and I'll be putting some small little clips on this video that is kind of filmed during my secondary usage of the Note 9. So yeah, it's okay. And spoiler, it actually went pretty great. Now after all, the Note 9 is actually a way better deal than the iPhone SE, aside from some things, which I'll talk about when scripting the video. 但是你们可要知道，旗舰机的续航都统一垃圾，所以你们就算从 S21换到个 Note 9，你们一定会有这个旗舰标配的体验。电池续航垃圾。All jokes aside, after experiencing the Note 9 and testing it, I can see why so many people refuse to let it go and never gonna give it up. It's not just any Note, it is Samsung's first Note with zero compromise. And Samsung's last Note that doesn't have compromise as well. With the Note 10 removing the SD card slot and the 2K display, with both the Note 10 and Plus removing the hybrid monitor, hits a jack. The Note 9 giving the best of what 2018 had, big battery at a time, solid cameras, iris scanning, fast fingerprint reader, an H2H 2K display, one of the kind stylus, expandable storage, and headphone jack is what makes this phone a tricky issue to Samsung on how to get their owners to upgrade. Even despite its 5-year-old, despite Android 10, despite the aging processor, despite the aging design, I don't think this phone was Samsung's best, most legendary phone to ever exist. The aging design is the reason why modern phones are often seen as less durable than their newer counterparts, because bezels actually make up for what you normally see as all-screen on phones. While it provides an extremely immersive feel though, you'll be immersed in the cost of repairing one instead, in which the Note 9's display is plenty expensive too anyway. Note 9 owners, once you total that screen of yours, I don't think it's time to upgrade. But Note 9 owners who haven't totaled it, let's do this thing, okay? Let the most legendary Note do its thing and be the most legendary Note to ever exist. This is TimeTech, and thank you all so much for watching. Comment, like, and subscribe, and I'll see you all next time. Bye for now.